I've done really well on the scratcher tickets. Before I won the million, I'm going to tell you, there was a source of energy that was in the air. I've dreamt about winning the lottery so many times. Oh my God, the dream was so realistic. It happened more than once.
Before you won the million?
Yes.
So you scanned this on your phone?
Yes.
And then you saw this message that says, congratulations, in big bold print.
And they take your ID and they really check who you are. And then they sit down and like kind of have a little counselor, like, well, do you want the lump sum or do you want, the annuity? It was just an amazing feeling, like powerful. You can't believe it's happening. When it really happens, you're like, oh my God, this really did happen. But yes, you have to manifest it. You dream about it. You put the energy out there in the world.
And how do they pay you for a prize like that? Is it like a check or a wire transfer?
I'm gonna show you.
Welcome to Lottery Dreams and Fortune.
I am so unbelievably excited to be joined here right now with Thomas. He actually won the Florida lottery as well as a prize from the Arkansas lottery. I believe he won $1 million in 2022. His story, his mindset is fantastic. Thomas, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tim. I'm so happy to be here. You've been an inspiration to me, and I watched you so many times before, and I just felt one day I'm going to be on your show, one day I'm going to win a lottery, and I've hit 2 so far. So it's pretty good. Now, they've been second-tier prizes only, but still a good amount of money. I'll tell you about the first one. I was in Arkansas, and the day was May 24th, 2020. And there was a game that was out there, and it was 200 times a scratcher. And I've done really well on the scratcher tickets. But the game called to me. So I was, you look at different games, and I said, this is the game that I like. This is the one. Anyways, I remember I went to one gas station and I spent about $200 and I didn't win anything, maybe $50 here and there. And then the lady said, oh, you're going to waste all your money. So I just said, oh, I'm going to another gas station. And I did. I was the only one in the gas station, spent about another $100. And I scratched, all the numbers at the top and then, scratch. And then I matched. It was number 12. And I started to just scratch a little bit. I said, 5 0. I said, it's going to be another 50. And I went, whoosh, and there was 3 zeros behind the 50. And I was like, oh, you know what? So I was so excited. I was just like, oh my gosh. I gave the clerk $200 because that's all I had on me left. And I said, yay, thanks. So it was, $50,000 winner. And I called one of my buddies at the time, and I started talking stupid because I couldn't talk. I was like, oh, well, I made no sense. It was so funny. But yeah, May 24th, 2020. It was amazing. After taxes, I walked away with $34,700 from that. So it wasn't bad, and so that was good. But I knew in my heart, I said, you're going to win again. I just said, you're going to win again. I don't know when, where, but you're going to win again. This is just the beginning. I've watched you for many years, and you've been an inspiration. I'm born and raised in Florida. I am a physician, and I teach at a medical school. I'm a DO, which is Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, so yay for the DOs. But I traveled from Florida, went out to Washington, spent a year in Tennessee, and then went to Fort Smith, Arkansas, and that's where I won the $50,000 scratcher. Ultimately ended up getting a job in Dothan, Alabama, where I am now, and I was able to cross the border, and I'm lucky because I can go to Florida and I can go to Georgia, so there's, I can get lottery both of those places. But I was watching you, I was watching scratching away all the scratchers on the YouTube, like the lottery scratchers. I've even bought some of their coins, and if I can, I'll give a shout out. There's from Alfred from Florida Scratcher, and then Scratch Away. I got his coins, Scratch Life, and
so these are coins that you're using to scratch lottery tickets, scratch tickets.
I use these, but it's just an energy. Tim, I feel an energy. I can't explain it. I'm very excitable, and I'll tell you, I had my chart read.
Astrological chart?
Astrological chart read, and the day I was born, the time, where, and when, and they said Jupiter's in my corner, and Jupiter's a lucky sign. So I do believe that. So I was watching Nick scratch and everybody doing the scratchers, and they'd show, look, I won $3 million, I won $1 million, and I said, oh man, I wonder what that feels like. That's going to be me one day. And I'd always look on the Florida lottery, winner, here's this, here's that. And when I was younger, I would volunteer at the hospital, and one of my friends there, she was amazing. I found out she had won the Fantasy 5 in Florida. This is back in the 90s. So I think Fantasy 5 was about 500,000 at that time. It used to be bigger. And so I was like, wow, so okay, I know a lottery winner and stuff like that. But I would look at the lottery every day and just look at it, and it was just amazing. I said, one day I'm going to be there. I've dreamt about winning the lottery so many times, and it was so realistic, and I'd wake up and I'd be in a happy mood, then I'd be kind of pissed off, excuse me if I can say that, but I'd be, oh my God, the dream was so realistic. It happened more than once.
Before you won the $1 million?
Yes, even before, years before. So it was before I hit the 50,000, but I have these dreams. Before I won the $1 million, I'm going to tell you, there was a source of energy that was in the air. A month before, I love reading lottery stories. To me, it's inspiration and relaxing. So a month before, I'm going to show you, I went on Amazon on July 10th, and I bought this book. This is Shirley Pressing the Luck. And she's a physician. On September 11th, she had bought the winning Florida Lottery quick pick tickets. And she won 57 million, something like that. And walked away with 17 million. So I read that story, and I have proof of when I bought this. It was July 10th, 2022. I watched you. I read books years. I mean, I read this book, Lottery
Winner's Guide. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So that.
Wow.
I read this.
Okay. There's another lottery book there. Life Lessons from the Lottery. Okay.
Yes. Don McNay. And then this is not probably the best one, but Death by Lottery.
Death by Lottery. I don't know about that title, but I'm sure it's a good one.
But it was just the energy. So, and again, I had a dream within that 2-week period. And one ticket was my hand for $1 million, and the other ticket was $3.76 million. All right, so the new class starts, and it was, I think, July 29th. It was a Friday, and I didn't sleep well that Friday, but I said, there's a little casino in town, and I said, I'm going to go to the casino. I'm going to bring $500 with me, and I'm going to make sure I have enough money to go buy a whole book of scratch-off tickets. So I did.
How much is that?
The whole book, they were $50 tickets, and it was 30 in a pack, so $1,500. So I go to the little casino, and I play. And I didn't sleep well the night before, but I said, I got up early in the morning, go to the casino, take my $500, play the machines. I actually got up to about $5,700, but then I whittled it back down to $1,500. So, I still made a profit of $1,000. But I went right to, and this is a Fortune Liquors in Campbellton, Florida, so I went right across the border, and I just went in, I said, here's $1,500, please give me a book. So they, put in a little brown paper bag, and then you leave quickly with it. So I came home, sat on my bed, talking to someone on the phone, I had the phone on speaker, and I start scratching the tickets. Well, at first, you start with 000, and I'm scratching it, and I won $100. I said, this is off to a good start. And then by the time I got to, so I go through all these tickets, and by the time I got to the winning ticket, the big winning ticket, it was ticket 021, which was really the 22nd ticket. But by then I was so tired of scratching, so all I would do is just scratch the top part, and I would scan the ticket just to see, and out of the corner of my eye, oh, I'm gonna bring this up. Out of the corner of my eye, and I was talking to someone on the phone, so they didn't know I was doing all this while I was on the phone. And this person I was talking to didn't believe in gambling, so I wasn't going to tell them what just happened. So I just said, oh, well, so this is what I saw. And it was just absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, it says congratulations there on your phone. I see the claiming. So you scanned this on your phone,
Yes.
right? And then you saw this message that says congratulations in big bold print. You are a winner, I believe. So how did that feel when you saw that? Did you know how much it was, or?
Well, I knew it was big, and I knew it was one of the $1 million prizes, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say a bad word, but I said, oh, as I got one. That's what went right in my head. I got one. And I said, I mean, of all the tickets, I picked the right book out of there, and I was so excited. And so what I did, I hung up the phone, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then the next ticket after I scratched was a $100 winner. Could you imagine being that person who just missed $1 million? So overall, I collected $700 plus the $1 million win, which was really $820,000.
How does that come to 820,000? Do they?
That's if you take the lump sum. So if you take the lump sum, they're going to say, okay, this ticket is now worth 820,000. If I took the annual payments, it would. I remember this with all that. It would have been about 28,000 a year coming to me, but I kind of don't trust if they're not going to stop paying. So I said, I'll take the lump sum, please. And then with taxes, I mean, you get the federal tax of 37%, and then in Alabama you give another 5% to the pay taxes on it too, for the state taxes. So let's say I cleared about almost $475,000, but it was amazing. I mean, I attribute it to energy, manifesting, dream about it, putting it out into the universe. I truly believe that. And I know it sounds weird, but I'm a numbers guy. Now, you were allowed to stay anonymous in Florida, for 90 days. But I said, it's not like a multi-million. It's not like a Powerball or something like that. So, in August 20th, 2022, news broke everywhere. It says Dothan man, Alabama man wins $1 million. All my students saw it. I was the talk of the town, even still to this day. They did. So no matter where I went, and I went up to the core sites where our students do rotations. They said, "You won the lottery. You won the lottery." A year before this, and this is why dates mean something to me. August 20th, 2021, I was at Campbellton again, and I said, I want to play the area code of the phone number I grew up in. So I picked 954. And I did 5 of them straight and 5 of them boxed. And I did them for 2 draws.
What does that mean, straight or boxed?
So straight. So if you pick them, they have to come in an exact order: 9, 5, 4. So the next day I look and I'm like, oh my God, am I seeing something? They came in 9, 5, 4. So I ended up winning $2,500 on those, and then another $400 because I also had 5 in the box mode, which means they can come in any order as long as it's a 954. So that was on August 20th, 2021. And then the news broke out that I won the lottery August 20th, 2022. Okay. Just weird things. And before I got the job here where I am now, this is why I believe in numbers. It was April 16th, 2016, and I came and we had a little conference, and I tried getting a job here, and ultimately I did get a job here in Alabama. But I met my future wife at that little casino. She was bringing her mom to play bingo and all that, and I met her on April 16th, 2021. So I met her, and then we parted ways just because of circumstance, but then we reconvened on December 7th, 2023, and now we're happily married.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. And, Yeah, but you gotta believe. You've got to manifest it. You have to have a positive attitude. I had so many people. I had emails and people tell me, "You always said you were going to do it. You always said you were going to win." And so many people said, "I've never met a lottery winner before." So it was really nice to get that confirmation and things like that. So, but Tim, I've been having dreams again. I've been having dreams again. I was
Oh.
just recently in Orlando twice. I went to two conferences, and both times in the conferences, I woke up dreaming. Now, this one specific, another one, 5.96 million, but twice in Orlando, a month apart. My brother also dreamt I re-won the lottery. So I know it's coming. I don't know when, but I know it's going to come. So
I love it. We are all about dreams on here. That's amazing. And I want to ask more about your belief in manifestation and that sort of thing and these dreams in a moment, but just jumping back a little bit to the biggest win so far in Florida, which is amazing, this $1 million jackpot. You mentioned that you had to claim it publicly in Florida.
yes.
And so what was the redemption process like for a prize of that size, going there and claiming it?
Oh,
And how were you feeling when this happened?
oh my gosh, I was excited. One of my, I won it on a Saturday. July 30th is actually the day I scratched it. And so my friend on Sunday, he says, "Oh, let's go down to Florida. I want to go swimming, in these springs near, Florida." And I said, I kept that ticket on me. I put that ticket in a Ziploc bag, two of them, and I lost my coin. I had my lucky coin, but I lost it in Colorado Springs at the Broadmoor Hotel. So if anybody's out there, it might still be there. But so I kept that ticket on me and I kept it in my pocket. I did not go anywhere. Oh, and it was so hot out there. I was like sweating. And so I waited till Monday rolled around, and I kind of told my bosses, I said, "Listen, I got to go collect, this ticket." And when I called the lottery, because I won $1,000 here and there, and, you have to go and fill out the paperwork and wait. But I called them. I said, "Listen, I got this ticket." They go, "No, you get special treatment. You go in a special line for that one." So I said, "All right." So one of my students I was overseeing him give a lecture, and as soon as he was done, I got in my car and went to Tallahassee. It was amazing just driving up there, and I take pictures. I really do, and because it's amazing. But the feeling was just absolutely incredible. So here I was. I drove up to the Florida Tallahassee lottery right there, and you can see the date.
Oh yeah, and I see the building there in the picture.
Oh yes, and so then you sit in the room, and this is okay. This is when you go on the Florida Lottery website and you see the winners. That's the wall that they stand up and they take the pictures of.
Yeah, so it's like a stand and repeat, a giant banner with their
Oh,
logo
yes.
on the back. Yeah.
So
So you did that?
Oh, I did that. And here's my favorite one. So there's my shoes. That's you can see them.
Okay.
And that door, that's one of the doors I went into. I went in back and forth between two doors, and they take your ID and they really check who you are. And then they sit down and like kind of have a little counselor, like, "Well, do you want the lump sum or do you want, the annuity?" I said, "No, I want the lump sum." It was just, what an amazing feeling. I pictured myself there again, and that's what I did. When I was there, I said, "I'll be back." And that's how you have to think and believe. But it was just an amazing feeling. It was just like powerful, and it's like you can't believe it's happening. When it really happens, you're like, "Oh my God, it really did happen." So yeah, they took me in the back room. Took a couple hours and this and that, and so there was that. So there's my name.
yes.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, so there's your picture there holding the giant check for 1 million, and that looks like $1 million smile right there.
Oh
That's
yeah,
amazing.
that is genuine. But you know when else I had that smile? When I resaw my wife and I knew we were going to be married. I said that 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 can't replace any kind of money. Is the love for her? She's amazing. But this is genuine. It's so funny. You see most lottery people, they're sitting there like this. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like, no,
serious.
this
Yeah.
was like, oh. And see, Tim, I'm telling you, I look at that. I took the little video of there's the little room. There's one of the rooms,
Oh wow.
and that.
So this is some real behind the scenes footage of
Oh,
your
yeah.
experience in there. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
what was security like? Because
There
you
was
mentioned that
none.
they were in there for 2 hours, and
There was really none. I mean, I'm sure there was some people there, but I didn't feel like, I mean, there was nobody there to really protect you or anything.
oh, I mean, like when they check, because they have oftentimes for large prizes like that, they have security that checks and makes sure that you're the person that actually purchased the ticket. That
Yeah,
sort
I
of thing.
brought my ID, my social security card. I even brought my passport. I just said, here's who I am. And I just want to make sure. So they did all that. They saw I was legit. I was who I said I was. And I think they also do a background check just to make sure, are you the person that really, bought this ticket? But that's why it took some time. And I don't know some of the behind the scenes, but yeah, it took a little bit of time. But
Yeah.
and then
And how do they pay you for a prize like that? Is it like a check or a wire transfer?
I'm gonna show you. But
Oh.
for dinner, I got to show you that. On my way back, I had to get some Culver's, little Scoopy there. Double cheeseburger.
Delicious! Some ice cream. I love it.
Oh yeah. So now, 2 days later, okay, my favorite thing was here. I don't know if you can see it. The Florida lottery, they deposited.
Wow, look at that! Right into your.
Yes,
Is that your checking account?
that was my checking account.
Wow. So that
So
was
they-
a direct deposit.
Direct deposit. And I thought it was going to take weeks, but I looked there and I was there on the 1st and in the morning on the 3rd, it was there. And of course I still had to pay more taxes. So I wish that was the full amount, but I still ended up having to pay more in taxes. And let me see if I can show you this. So on that, just alone, when I won the lottery, they took out, here, I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Taxes. That was just the federal taxes. So, yeah, it was 196,800 that they took out, But, so you don't walk away, unfortunately, with a whole like 820,000, 600 some thousand. But, Tim, it was an amazing feeling, and I know it's going to happen again. So.
I love it. That's amazing. And when you actually were paid, well, there's two questions. One is, did you get help with anybody behind the scenes, or did you feel that wasn't necessary? And the second is, what did you do with the winnings, if you're able to say?
I ended up paying off my house. I was on fast track because I was paying the home off, and I said, I'm going to pay it off by so and so. I paid it off that month, so that was paid off. Paid off my car, paid off some credit cards, gave to my family, gave to charity, things like that. So I did make one stupid investment, and I regret it because I took a big hit from it. And I bought a condo in Florida because one of my colleagues had one down there, and they said, "Oh yeah, buy this rental. You can do an Airbnb and all this and that." But I had bought at the height of the market, and it was just the timing was bad because when I bought it was at the end of the season. So, and then just thinking about when that condo collapsed in Miami, and that was unfortunate, for those people. But now all of a sudden they're saying, these new laws are coming that, you have to have a lot of money in reserves, for repairs to condos and all this and that, and the insurance was skyrocketing, and all the hurricanes that came back to back, I think it was Helene and Milton, that came. So I said, oh my gosh, I'm worried about holding on to this condo just in case, everybody's going to be hit with an assessment and all that. Because, yeah, I mean, you win this money, but I paid a lot of stuff off, and then I invest a lot in the condo, so there's not much left over. So I took a bad hit on that one. So word to the wise, just keep money aside. Don't go do something because somebody else bought a condo or this and that. That's for sure. So. But I gave to family, I gave to charity, paid off. So, and I'm living well, so I'm happy and still have those dreams coming in.
I love it. Well, I mean, congratulations. It sounds like it's been mostly really positive for you. I want to ask about your beliefs in manifestation and so forth, but just following up, how did people react when they found out that you won this prize? Because it's, pretty substantial. Not everyone, most people, in fact, hardly anyone wins $1 million prize, and it does happen all the time. And so how did people react around you?
They were in shock. They were like, oh my gosh, wow. It happened to you. I will say I had a family member, and they were not too happy. They're like, why? They said, why does it always happen to people like you? So some are just jealous, but for the most part they were happy, and they were like, oh my gosh, wow. And they always said, oh, here, rub me for luck. But yeah, for the most part they were really happy about it. And some family members, they were a little jealous, and you'll find that some people don't want to see others succeed, and it's a game of chance. I mean, I could have bought the whole book, and I've done that before, not win anything. You win half your money back, but this was it was a feeling that day. It was a feeling. You talk about manifestations. I mean, when I was in medical school, we used to go down and watch the game Highlight. And, you'd watch them play. And I liked watching it because it took like 20 minutes per each game. So I went up there, and at the last moment, before I put my bet, something came in my head. It says, play 2, 3, 7, and do it as a trifecta box. So I did.
And this is what kind of game?
It's called Highlight. It's where they had the little ball and the long cestas that they throw against the wall. It was like 200 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And you'd go watch them. But I did a trifecta bet on it, and it came through. So, and recently, I will tell you this, and I always take pictures because people don't believe anything without pictures. Back October 13th of 2023, I said, something's telling me play my birthday. So I went to the Cash 5, and I put my birthday in. First number comes up, exact, second, third, and the fifth, but the fourth number was off. And when I buy always duplicates. So I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to buy like 5, so I can hit it a couple times. But I was off. Had it won, it would have been $125,000. But I was off by 1. And I took a picture just to see. I said if I was 10 years older, I would have hit it. but yes, manifestation. You pray about it. You picture it happening. You think about it. You build up the energy. Okay, when I watched I watched the people scratching the tickets online. I look at the lottery. I joined the lottery post. I'm on the lottery post too. So if you go there, you'll see my name under, post your winnings. So you'll see it. But yes, you have to manifest it. You dream about it. You put the energy out there in the world. You have to. You have to believe and see yourself winning. You have to picture yourself there.
And you do this fairly often, and that's how you...
Yeah.
I mean, how significant is that? What is your exact routine? How significant is that to your wins, would you say? And what advice would you give to someone else that's hoping to do that?
Pick up a book on lottery. Picture yourself on the website when you look at other winners there and say, that's going to be me. Look at it daily. Look at it. That's what I was doing, looking at it daily. Read books. Listen to your podcasts. Hear what other people say and try it. Don't knock it till you try it. And I'm a firm believer in that. So that's what I recommend. I mean, I watch you all the time. I know Richard Lustig. I know he won. I met Richard Lustig He was a 7-time winner, and I remember in 2014, he had something go on in, I think, St. Pete area, Florida, and I went and went to one of his talks, and I remember him saying, "How many people here have won $50,000? And raise your hand." So you'd look around. Of course, I didn't win at that time. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I want to be like one of these people." Well, how many people won this and that? And it was just fun being there and talking with him and shaking his hand. And I think I even got a signed copy of his book. So that's it. Just go be around it. Put that energy out there. Just believe it can happen to you. People are like, "Well, I'm not lucky. I'm not this and that." I play the same set of numbers. Now they haven't hit, but I mean, I got maybe 3 out of the 4. But I think quick picks are probably a better chance of winning. I've almost, like the Georgia lottery right across the line. It was 800,000, and I got a quick pick on a free ticket, and I had 4 out of the 5 numbers, and their number was 10. I had a 9. Had my 9 been a 10, I would have been one of the winners. So I do believe in quick picks and free tickets. And about a month ago, somebody won $43 million in Florida, near Destin, Santa Rosa Beach, at the Tom Thumb. It was off a free ticket. So if you get 2 numbers on the Florida lottery, you get a free ticket. So they got a free ticket, hands it in, and I always look to see, well, did they pick their own numbers? It will say yes, no, and this said why free. I was like, oh my gosh. So you can win. So don't think, oh my gosh, it's a free ticket, it's not going to do anything. So that's it, but just believe it. And if you have a feeling, go out and buy a ticket. That if something's telling you, just go do it. So Tim, if I may ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I as I said, I remember watching you, and you only bought 1 ticket, correct? Just 1 ticket when you won. And what was something telling you? Was something in your head saying, you got to buy a ticket right now? Or were you just like, I'm just going to buy a ticket? What?
Well, for me, I had this dream. Many people know this, not everyone, but I had this dream about it about 3 months prior that convinced me it was so real that it had already happened. And so I started playing after that dream because I was convinced that I believed that I was going to win. This dream was so real. And so I started playing 1 ticket, usually 1 ticket at a time. And that particular day when I won, I woke up in the morning and kind of, maybe this is coincidence, maybe it's not, but I woke up and told myself, this is the day I'm going to win the lottery. And then I went off and told all these other people that I was going to win. And that moment because I sold it to myself, and because I was working at a gas station, in that moment, I did feel like that was the time to buy it, because that's when I bought it, so. Yeah. It was really surreal, really crazy when I told all these people and believed that it was going to win, and then it did. It was like, oh my gosh. Like, am I living in the Matrix, or what is happening?
Wow. I'm waiting for that big one to happen, like that multi-millions. I told my wife, and I said, next one we're going to get multi-millions. But wow, that must have been, that's the feel I'm talking about. You just can't. You can't believe it. You're staring there and you're like, did this just really happen? And I know, and I'm so looking forward to your book. Please let us know, because I want to buy a signed copy.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Well, we'll give you you can just have a signed copy for coming onto the show. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm working on a book, and it's really, it's almost done. It's like 99% done, and we need a cover designer, but it's getting close. So yes, Thomas, we'll definitely get you a signed copy. Thank you so much for your kind words about that. But you mentioned that after you won, a couple people were like, why does this always happen to you or people like you? Have you always been considered lucky? Do things kind of go your way? And what are your thoughts on luck? What actually is luck in your opinion?
I do believe I've had luck. Again, so just one of my buddies, He had his friend who reads charts and all that. He actually did a detailed analysis of my astrological chart. So I gave him the day I was born, the time I was born, where I was born, and he said, you have Jupiter on your side, the planet Jupiter. And again, I don't know any of this, but he said that means you always will have luck on your side. Now, there's times when things go in retrograde and you know, things don't go as planned, and then times when things all line up and it's like you can't lose, because I've had losing streaks. I mean, there's no question about that, where no matter what ticket I bought, I can't win. So when I go down to the store, sometimes I hit 500 tickets, dollar tickets back to back. And, you know, so it happens. And, but sometimes I don't. But I do feel I am luckier than most. I do. I go to the casinos, but I don't care for them as much. My true love and passion is the lottery. But I'll go play that. But I've hit jackpots on the casino. I went after I won the lottery, I went to Vegas, and I went and I hit a jackpot of $13,500. I was at the Aria, and I was doing
On a
$1. Yeah, slot machine. $1 minimum bet, $1 denomination, 25 minimum bet, and I hit one of the $12,500 orbs fell. It was on Dragon Link, and I said, "Oh wow!" So I got 6 of those. So I won 13,500. But yeah, I do. But my true passion is lottery. But yes, I feel I am luckier than most. My wife told me you are luckier than most, and friends have told me that too. I'm just, I just am. Now, you know what the weird thing is? The Arkansas lottery, when I hit that, you know, it was the $50,000. There was only one $50,000 prize, just one. There was 4 $500,000 prizes. So if you do the odds, I was the only one to hit the 50,000 because there was only one of them. So, so that, you know, but so yes, I just feel unlucky. I don't know. That's it. And I've had a good life. I've had some things, you know, go on in my life, but overall, I think I've been blessed. And overall, I think I been pretty lucky, and overall, I'm very happy. And I think I have a very good life, you know, so, but that's it. So any advice you have for me and going forward, and any thoughts you think would help hit another jackpot or something?
Oh, to hit another one.
Yeah, I'm just curious
Well,
if you have any thoughts or.
Well, my advice, I think, is, I mean, definitely, play responsibly, never spend more than you can afford to lose. I tell that to everybody because I think that's very, very important. But second to that, and have fun, because that's also important. And you know, dream big. You're already doing all of these things, I'm sure, but I think that for me, I'm a firm believer in intuition and that sort of thing. And I think, why would that be excluded from the lottery? I just don't believe that. I believe in our intuition personally. And if anyone that does not, I respect them, but I personally believe in intuition. I have experiences quite frequently, and always have, about things where you think about somebody and all of a sudden they pop up in your life. You haven't heard from them in years.
Yes.
Or that sort of thing. And then,
I agree. I hope one day, Tim, to meet you in person. And
Yeah.
I am praying for that, and come on the show again with another big win.
Oh, absolutely. And we definitely look forward to that. But speaking of advice, you know, for anyone watching or listening to this today, if they win a 1 million jackpot anywhere in the world, really, but let's just say theoretically in the U.S., and it's a very similar situation to you, what is your advice to them?
Really, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. And just plan out what you're going to do. Make sure you put at least half of it away. Half of it. Don't touch it. Put it away in CDs, buy some gold, this and that, pay off any bills, give to charity, but just prepare for your life. That's all, because you never know what's coming up. That's what I'm going to say. At least keep half of it. Don't tell anybody. Pay off your bills. Put a little bit back in, maybe a little bit back in, but that's it. That's what I would say.
That sounds like, sounds like really sound advice. And especially, I love the investment part, and don't tell anyone seems smart too. But what if you're in a situation like you're in, or we're in, where they take a photo publicly, or your name is announced publicly? Different states have different rules. Then how do you, I have my own experience with it, but how do you handle that sort of
LLC.
thing? And then
LLC, get a trust LLC. That's, what I would do. Because I'm just going to say, when I took that, I put a lot in my house and the car, this and that. So I said, and paid off bills. So it's like, and I gave to family and, charity and all that. But something to just put a trust or an LLC. That's what I would say to do. Do that. And somebody comes to say, hey, can I have some money? Say, no, it's already gone. It's already been spent. I had this and that to pay off. That's all you say. No, it's all been accounted for. So I apologize. Because you're going to get people that say, yeah, okay. And I had somebody come and ask me for a $30,000 loan, and I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah, and how do you deal with that? Because I've dealt with that a lot over the years, and loans and that sort of thing. And I know, I kind of know, but how did you deal with that?
I just said, I apologize, but I can't. That's all I said. No is no. I have that earmarked for something else, and I apologize. I said no. I said no. You have to protect yourself. You really have to protect yourself.
Most people are really supportive, it sounds like.
Oh,
and that's
yeah, but most are.
But for the couple of people that were jealous or so forth, how do you mentally deal with that?
How do I say to myself, well, if I had asked them for money to go buy my tickets, would they have given it to me? And I say to myself, I took the risk. I was the one that took the chance. So what I choose to do with this is up to me. I know, because you don't owe anybody an explanation. The only person I owe an explanation to is my wife. That's it. That is it. That is it. That's who I answer to, and we're together as one. Now, I won this before I met her. I met her, but we were not together at the time, and God, I wish we were. I wish we had been. She would have kept me from buying the condo. But she's the only person that I would listen to. That's it. So you need that one person in your life that you can trust and depend on.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm so glad that you have her in your life. With anyone watching that does play the lottery, whether it's scratch tickets or draw games or anything like that, do you have any hot tips? What's your advice?
I always look to see how many top prizes are left, and how many second tier prizes are left, and go on that. Here's the thing. I used to think, you gotta, play this number. I've read books on, you have to put this here and do that. And no, to me, I think more quick pick is better, unless you have a gut feeling on certain numbers. So let's say this. And I met someone that won the Florida Fantasy 5 like 2 or 3 times just recently when I was out here. And he would pick 4 numbers, because there's 5 of them. So he'd pick 4 core numbers and play them. And then let's say it was 4, 5, 6, okay? 4, 5, 6, 7. So then he'd play 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he would spend whatever amount of money, it would be like $35 to buy a whole set like that. But he would maybe spend $750 a week. But he hit it twice. So that's something you can do if you think that way. But I'm fighting more and more. It's going to be quick picks. Just, and if I do get quick picks, I'm going to just maybe play them for a series of time. Like, okay, I'm going to buy 5 Florida Lottery quick picks, but I'm going to play them for 5 draws. So that's what I do. And I do put the double play and extra on it just in case you get a second tier prize or you have the extra draw. And the same with Powerball. If I buy Powerball, I'm going to do the double play and the power play. Why not? I mean, not all states offer that, but I would do that.
So that multiplies a prize that's not the jackpot. If you were to get all numbers but one, it would multiply the prize. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. So I mean, I would do that. I put the extra on it. Some people don't, and but for me, and just hearing your story, I'm just doing quick picks. I'm not going to waste my time trying to calculate this and that, and you'll have a feeling if something good's going to happen. You will.
And what do you tell yourself, or how do you think? What's your mindset when you play and that you don't win?
There's always another drawing. That's it. Because it's not like, oh my gosh, this is the last drawing in the whole wide world, I'm going to miss out. I've come to that realization. And you don't have to throw a bunch of money into it. Like you say, play with a budget, have this set amount, this is what I'm going to play with. And, sometimes maybe if the Powerball gets larger, then I'll play it. Same with the Florida Lottery. But unfortunately, I'm committed to these 4 numbers I picked because I've been playing them for about 30 years now. So I said, I started on this one set, and I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Well, sometimes those play out. Were those from a dream? Because I do want to ask how your dreams compare to the actual wins.
No, my dreams have been more like just in general, like you're going to win something. I wish I had dreamt the numbers. But I play my parents' birthdays. They both passed away. I play mine and my siblings' birthdays, and I play my wife's, her mom, and my birthday. So those are the, and then one other set I've just played forever. So those are the 4 sets I play throughout. So it costs with the double play 9, $3 a ticket. So that's $12 minimum a draw. So $24 a week. I can afford that. So I play that. Oh, and one time you don't play it, they're going to pop up. And, Oh, I do have one more story to tell you. When I used to work down in Florida, I was in Bradenton, Florida, and the security guy. I mean, we'd always talk about this. I mean, lottery's always been a dream of mine, but he dreamt the numbers for the New York lottery. His wife did not go get the tickets, and he played those numbers religiously, and it popped up. And yes, she did not buy him. Oh, he was so upset. But isn't that something? So now I'm stuck playing those sets of numbers.
Yeah, how heartbreaking would that be? I've met and interviewed someone in a similar situation, but to have all the numbers, and I've seen stories in media too of people. One person, there was this couple, I think it was in the UK, that was playing, I think it was Euro Millions. Don't quote me on the name of the game, but they had this automatic payment for these specific numbers, I believe, for their tickets, and the numbers came up, but for some reason the automatic payment didn't go through. Like I don't remember what the issue was, but so they didn't actually win, even though their numbers came up. So.
And how about when tickets expire? Can you imagine that? I've seen Powerball tickets and like 60 million expire. Even like 45 millions for a Florida lottery, because I always look on the who won and it says ticket expired. Could you imagine looking at your ticket and say, "Oh my God, I just missed it by one day"?
That would be and there's no leniency there. Like if you don't turn it in by the deadline, then they just don't.
No.
There's billions, with a B, of worth of prizes that go unclaimed, and probably one of the main reasons is that. Yeah, and when you have won the lottery, because you've won, who knows how many, tons of smaller prizes, but then you've won these significant larger prizes, including this million prize. Yes. So when this has happened, how does that compare? Because you believe in manifestation, you believe in visualization, you have dreams about it before it happens. How does it compare, that feeling of you believe you're going to win, to actually winning?
It validates you. It validates your thoughts all along. It makes you realize I wasn't crazy. I knew I would do it, and here's the proof. So it validated it, and it just says, keep plugging along. Again, play with what you can afford, but don't give up. If you believe, I don't care what anybody else thinks. What is important is what I feel and what I think, and that's what it did. It validated my thoughts. And just to get the email that says, you always said you were going to do it, and you finally did it. I still have that email from that person. So,
Yeah, that has to feel good.
Yeah.
So you told people that this was going to happen before it did.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I have. And there are a lot of people, you're wasting your time, this and that. And, well, if you put this away, I said, no, but it's to me, it's exciting. To me, it's what I believe in and what I feel. So I'm going to do that. If I did not go buy that book that day, somebody else would have. And then I always think, when I buy all the bad tickets that don't win, I'm just moving them out of the way to get the winner to come up. That's it. But the next one, I really would like to see myself win on a draw game. That's the next one I want to see.
Well, maybe that can be for our second interview.
I would love
when
that.
Happens.
I would love that for sure.
And what's the most important or powerful or helpful strategy, or when it comes to manifestation or visualization or belief, for you personally, that you think attributes to your win or wins?
I prayed. I'm not going to lie. I prayed for it. I prayed for my wife. Got on my hands and knees and I prayed, please send me the woman of my dreams. And it happened. And I prayed, and I keep visualizing. What's your life going to look like? What is it going to feel like when you walk into the lottery store? What is it going to feel like when you? Oh, I forgot to even tell you this. I went, and sometimes you don't go without even expecting. I have 2 videos, but I went to the Fortune Liquors in Campbellton, then the one across the street, 2 weeks apart. And I bought these little payday tickets. They were $10 a piece, so I spent $200. Scratch it, no winner. I was just scanning them, scratch them, scan. And then all of a sudden, bam, $5,000.
Wow.
Yes. And then 2 weeks later, I go back to Campbellton. I bought the 2 $50 tickets. First one, nothing. Second one, $5,000. Yeah. So just don't have any negative thoughts. Just go in there, be happy, and go, today's going to be a great day. Dream about it. See yourself winning. That's it. Pray for it. I know it sounds terrible, but pray for it.
No, it doesn't sound terrible at all. I'm all about prayer and meditation, and some people think of that.
If you visualize it and pray and visualize it, see yourself. I saw myself up there. I want to see myself one day on that Florida Lottery website. I want to see my name up there. And it happened.
Wow. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you. It's been an
Thomas. Yeah, it is so exciting. I love your mindset. I really do.
Thank
and I
you.
love your story. It's so inspiring. And I'm so happy for you. And I really am excited for a round 2 for a future interview. But anyone watching or listening to this, of course, play responsibly, never spend more than you can afford to lose, and have fun. But hey, anything is possible. And Thomas, I'm so happy for you. But is there anything that you want to say today that I didn't ask, or I don't know enough to ask, or that you just want to say?
No, just be appreciative of being alive. Be with your loved ones. Nobody can replace a life. That's all I'm going to say. So money can't replace all that. Play responsibly. have a good outlook in life. Just be happy. Be grateful. Manifest yourself winning. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, that's beautiful. Thomas, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time, and it's really like a true pleasure to meet you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. See you in the future.
Yeah.
And the big jump is if you can go from that 9th word to complete a 10th word, you get the jackpot, 750,000, $750,000. So I'm scratching it off. I see the U, I see the N, I see the D, I see the O, and then I let out a scream. I have my windows up in my car, and then I scream, ah! I whip it out and I scan the ticket, and it says, "You're a winner, $750,000. Please file a claim." So at that moment, then the exhilaration, like an adrenaline rush, it just rushed through me, and it's just kind of euphoric. You don't even know, it just hits you like a sledgehammer.
Did you ever think that you would win a jackpot like this before it happened?
Oh, absolutely.